So I've been at this kind of crossroads in my career where I'm in the beginning stages of turning what I want to actually be doing into what actually pays the bills. It's been an interesting journey. It's been one that's been filled with a lot of no's. It's been one that's filled with a lot of trial and error, one with a lot of kind of non-responses when I reach out to companies or whoever to try to make stuff for them. And I wanted to kind of share with you how I'm learning to be a director in the year of 2024. I think the biggest thing I've learned that matters is networking. And I think when people hear networking, they often think of like going to events or, whatever, and just trying to like schmooze and, rub elbows and, it kind of feels like this fake plastic thing. And I don't think networking has to be that way. I think networking can also be like making friendships. I think a lot of the people I've connected with have been people that I would spend my free time with. The producers and creative directors and, agency folks that I've really connected with and the ones who have been kind to me and giving me more work, they've all been people that I like, people that I respect, people that, like I said, I would grab a beer with, I would hang out with. They're people who I connect with beyond film. And I think that's a big part of it. You're not just schmoozing. You're not just making work connections. You want to be making friendships with these people. When you find yourself relating to people and connecting with them on a level beyond just this kind of I'll use you, you use me relationship, you'll find that a lot of times you're the one that they want to turn to. I like John Doe. I like Jane Doe. So I want to give them a job. I think that's a big part of how this industry works. It's not just always who has the best work. It's oftentimes who do I want to work with? It's like I talked about in one of my videos previously, is that give and take of quality versus person. And where do you fall down on that line? Which I think does bring up the question of, does your work matter? And I think the short answer is yes, your work does matter. The quality of it and the quantity of it absolutely does matter. And the long answer is no, the quality and quantity of your work doesn't matter. When filmmakers begin to think about quality over quantity of their projects, they always debate what's better, to have 10 okay to good projects that you could send out to people, but you're like, there's things I would change here, there's things I would change there. It's not my proudest work maybe. Or is it better to have two projects that you think, these are great, these totally represent who I am, here you go. And I think the answer is neither A nor B. The answer is C. It's both. You want to have more than two projects. You want to have multiple things that you can kind of send to somebody and be like, hey, when you hire Hunter Davis, you're going to get things that look like these 4 projects. But you also need to make sure that when you're sending these out to people, they're quality pieces. You're asking someone to look at something to hire you. Do you really want to be sending someone something that you're like, there's some stuff I don't love about it, but it'll get the job done. No, of course not. You want to be sending somebody something that goes, this is who I am. This is a piece that represents what I bring to the table as a filmmaker. I recently had a meeting with an executive producer at a production company, and I just outright asked him, I was like, what are the biggest qualities you're looking for when you hire a director? And he said the number one thing he looks for is the ability to meet deadlines. This is something that we kind of like forget about as creatives and filmmakers, is the fact that there is a whole business side to this. Yes, we want it to look beautiful. We want it to have a story that emotionally captivates the audience. But the other side of the coin for a production company is like, we have deadlines. We got to get this to a client by. And can you as the director meet those deadlines and still deliver a product that is of quality? This is where we as creatives and filmmakers have to find these creative solutions. How can we manage to meet these deadlines and meet these schedules while still delivering the spirit of why we were brought on, the creativity we offer? Now, this is maybe not always doing what you want to do. Maybe you had an idea for a shot or a scene that can't play out the way it was meant to play out as you originally intended because deadlines or scheduling just don't allow that. Well, how can we as the creative figure out a solution to still get what we want while meeting these deadlines? And then the biggest change I've noticed running into these new kind of jobs is, how do you price yourself? It's hard because you want to balance valuing what you bring to the table as a creative with still keeping the job. You don't want to overprice yourself and, all of a sudden they're going with a different director because it's a battle to the bottom of who will take the least amount of money. But you also want to still be sure you are meeting them where they're at. What's on budget? What's not on budget? I think the biggest piece of advice I could give to you would be to never undervalue yourself. I would rather lose a job to someone if they're going to be so much cheaper than me that it doesn't make it worth it anymore to do the project than accept whatever rate they're willing to throw my way. Because also, you want production companies that are going to value what you bring to the table. It shouldn't just be me valuing my own work. It should be them as the company saying that I am worth it, that hiring this person is going to be the right one for the job. And because they're the right one for the job, this is what we should offer them. Like I said, this is a business of relationships, and that goes both ways. I want to value you as the production company or the agency, but you need to value me in return. So yeah, that's what's going on with me as I move into this next chapter of my career. Hope it was worth something to you. Hopefully it can provide some, wisdom as you try to transition into whatever is next for you. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.